Welcome to Senior Moments, the show where we talk about all things senior, the good, the bad, and the utterly ridiculous. I'm your host, Susan Tomasich, and today I have with me Tami Sterrett. She is the job developer for Motherlode Job Training. Welcome, Tami.
Thank you for having me. Motherlode is happy to be a part of Senior Moments.
Oh, good. I'm really glad. So today I'd like to talk about trying to find a job after 50. I noticed when I turned 50 that I'd apply for jobs and I never even got interviews. It was very disappointing, and it led to me to where I am today, though. Now I'm self-employed and I have a little extra higher job with the county, and so it worked out for me. But how does it work out for other people?
Well, I've been with the agency just a little over a year and a half, so I'm learning still. But in the time I've been there, I've definitely noticed that our senior population is a growing population of participants coming in looking for assistance. And, we know it's a lot of things. Our economy, they can't live on Social Security or whatever retirement. And so people are coming out even of retirement just for that little extra income. So it is a challenge. And I think it's something that by you bringing this up again got me interested in researching, like, what can we do to really target that age group and be available. And there are so many things and so many agencies, that have a resource, and I was happy to learn that. I feel like at Motherlode Job Training, we're not so much age specific, but rather we just assist job seekers and very individualized. Everyone has their own story or pathway forward. And I usually take it as such when I'm having someone come in, just kind of hear their whole situation to understand, their skill set and their what their goal is, whether it's part-time work, full-time work, what do they really envision themselves doing, and then looking at perhaps a barrier. Is there barriers to getting that job? So I've learned with seniors and know for myself is, technology is forever moving forward. And we all kid and joke that it's like our kindergartners that can show us how to run the computer or the telephone, whatever it is, because most all job applications and applying, that process is all online. You have to be acclimated to some degree on how to upload a resume and references and be able to interact on the computer to stay in, marketable.
Sure.
And that can be a real learning curve. And so I've really had to look at resources to help people bridge that gap. And fortunately for here in Calaveras County, the Calaveras Library has a one-on-one tutoring program. So individuals of any age can come in and get that kind of technical help. Just bring their own device and learn how to operate it. That's so important. Terminology, as well as just all the frustrations that the computer can bring, if you're not acclimated in any way, it can be overwhelming. So I feel like we have to piecemeal this out in some ways.
Sure. It can be overwhelming even when you think you have pretty good computer skills.
Yes.
I tell you, there's been more than once that I've just wanted to take my laptop and throw it across the room, but I don't.
Yeah, yes.
But the urge is there. So let's say I am 60 years old. I was a stay-at-home mom, and now my husband died, and I'm getting $800 a month Social Security, and that's what I'm trying to live on. And trust me, I've talked to people who are trying to live on $800 a month. It's horrible.
Yes.
How would you help me get into the job market? Let me say I've got basic computer skills. I can go on my laptop and I can download a book. I can upload a photo. I can use my email. I know maybe a little bit about Word and Excel. So how would you take a person like that and try to get them into any kind of job? I mean, we're looking at very little actual work history as far as working outside the home. Maybe that work history happened before I had my 2 kids, and then I took the time off until my kids were in college or through college, and then I didn't feel the need to work until suddenly I'm faced with this financial hardship.
And I feel like that scenario is a very common one. And again, I listen to the whole situation. Like a lot of people aren't real happy that they're in that position, and so they know they need to go to work, but it's, we have to kind of work to get them over the idea that it's not something they wanted to do, planned to do, but it's something we can do. And so I feel like I have to be a real cheerleader and break it down in tangible pieces so that you kind of get acclimated to that new idea. There are lots of programs that help that scenario in particular, and one that we use on a regular basis is SERS. The acronym for, I'm going to have to look this, the Senior Community Service Employment Program. And SERS is something that is offered, I believe, I know it's throughout California, but it's a work-based program for older Americans to build, enhance, and update your job skills and to be able to look to find a job. So with the eligibility and criteria is being 55 or older.
Okay.
Unemployed, meets some income requirements, which in that scenario would be an easy fit, and need job skill training. So with SERS, they in the work-based learning, they're able to help. They fund the position. SERS puts the money out for this individual to have on-the-job training, and they find employers that are willing to be a work site and host. So say they might want to work at the Resource Connection and help people, with getting their food distribution or something. They pay for them to learn those clerical skills on the job, and it's hours that are manageable. So it's not a 40-hour week. It's more part-time job that SERS will train you, get your soft skills up, help you feel like you're back in the game by getting a resume, and then you're doing on-the-job training. So it's real practical. You're in the job learning, and it's an advantage to our work sites because they're getting, in essence, like a free employee.
Right.
And it's an advantage to our participant because they can learn right there on the job and in real time all that job will be. It helps you get acclimated into going to work again, just the routine of it, learning how to do time cards again and, input your time more that's all new too to a lot of people.
Sure. Well, you used to punch a time card. Now
Yes.
A lot of people are doing it electronically.
Absolutely.
So it is different.
So, we're there to encourage and help along the way just for those things that seem foreign that you just need a little extra help learning. I feel like we have just really talented giving staff that want to do this work, which makes it even easier. Sometimes you feel intimidated about asking a silly question, but I just hope we make everyone feel like there's no such thing. You know, we want you to learn at your pace and be able to feel good about what you're doing. Motherload Job Training also has a new resource. It's called Skill Up America.
Okay.
It is a matrix learning system. We pay for the subscription. People can go online and register and get their own login and be a part of it for a year. And in this Skill Up America, there's like 7,000 applications. All, anything you would want to learn. If it's Microsoft, if it's Excel, if it's Word, if it's, want to be a secretary, I want to be working TV, whatever your desire is, there's some kind of skill set they're available that you can work online and at your pace for free and try to build your skills again. They level up is the term everyone's using. Try to feel comfortable about all those foreign things, like pick a career. You can pick a career and develop a pathway. And this is all in Skill Up America, which is available to anybody. The requirement is you're a county resident. So in that we're in Calaveras, Amador, Tuolumne, and Mariposa. We've covered, the mother lode. And you can go on our website to request a login and password. We'll set you up. And for a year, you can utilize that resource. It's interactive, so it keeps you engaged.
Okay.
And so in putting that out there, I felt like I needed to test it out myself, thinking like, I'm going to get a lot of questions. If I don't do this myself, I'll never know what people are talking about. And I almost got lost in it just because it was really both educational, but intriguing.
Sure.
So I would hope that people, want to come on our website, learn about Skill Up, and see how it can fit in their journey to reenter the workforce or job seeking or whatever, getting advancement or whatever that is. It's all there for the asking.
If I have a dicey internet connection at home, can I come down and use your computers to get online with some of this stuff?
Absolutely. So, we're there Monday through Friday, and we just have an open door policy. We have computers, whatever kind of equipment you may need. Sometimes it's the phone service that's causing a problem, or you need to print things, or whatever that is. You're welcome to come in, use our equipment. Sometimes just having people there to encourage you or help you navigate. Some people want to be self-navigating and just do that. Just use our equipment to facilitate their need, and that's we welcome that. Anytime we're, like I say, available to the public to come in and use our equipment.
All right. And then people can also go to the San Andreas Library to use computers. They can go to Angels Camp Library. I believe we've got libraries in almost every community. So there's another place you can go if you need to use a computer to participate in your job skill up, right? Skills up.
Exactly.
And so we do have those resources. That's good.
And the library has a whole host of resources as well. Like I was mentioning, you can go there for the one-on-one tutoring. They have programs on their website just geared towards job seekers. So resume templates, just a variety of like mock interviews. So you're
nice.
Sometimes it's that interview piece that people are nervous about. You don't you just want to practice, get kind of like, back into that, like what are they going to ask me, and what is a good response or what is a bad response. And I feel like we have just kind of a little narrative that we go through to put them in that setting and act that out as if you're applying for a job, and kind of ease some of that tension and give them somewhat of a storyline to go by, so you don't feel so caught off guard at your interview.
Sure. Now, with the jobs that you set up for job training, do those people generally go on to stay at that job and then the employer picks their cost up after the training period is over?
A lot of times it does, and that's been wonderful. It's awesome. We have so many willing, good work sites in our county, and I would just encourage any business, if to allow us to just present it to them as an asset to them as well. We appreciate our work sites so much. If it's something where they're not able to, then we kind of go on to find the next best fit, but they've gained something there on the job training. So it just depends on, the business and where they're at, but we've had it be a real success story. I got my first job at Motherlode Job Training.
Oh, nice.
We have been in business for 40 years, a little over 40 years. In 1983 is when Motherlode Job Training first kicked off. And so I'm kind of like one of the alumni or something. I don't know. We were back, and it feels good. It feels good to give back to the agency that gave me a start.
That is wonderful. So we're going to call you a success story.
I thank you for that. I want to help be a part of people's success. I think that's kind of how I coined it early on. Like, it feels so wonderful to help people succeed, and to play any role in that is such an honor and privilege to me.
Oh, that is wonderful. And if nothing else, even if the job training part doesn't turn into a permanent position, I still added some skills to my resume and their recent skills. I'm not going, well, the last time I worked was in 1981. I'm going, oh, I worked last month.
Right. Right.
So that's always a good thing.
Absolutely. It's fresh, recent, and so many people come in with that fear, like, I stayed home for 10 years, and you'd be surprised at the response from businesses. They understand, because that's life. And so I'm really happy about that, because it is a big fear sometimes.
It is, and I actually have talked to employers over the last, a couple of years that are looking for older employees because they feel they're steadier, they're more reliable. So that's a good thing. It's somewhat of a change from the trying to find the youngest person you can for a position, and appreciating that older people have life skills as well.
Right.
I know that at this point in my life, the things that used to just throw me for a loop no longer do. I have a longer vision of things. I know I've gone through bad times and made it through them okay. Sometimes younger people don't have that. I mean, it's a learning. It's actually a part of life learning, is to learn that whatever seems so horrible in this moment right now, there's light at the other side. It's not going to be like this forever. So I think there's something to be said about having an older worker.
Absolutely. I just think that we come from a different era where our work ethics were different then, and so a lot of employers do appreciate that. We also are a resource for employers. We can we do what's called a job order. We advertise for them, so if they have an opening, we can post it for them. We can put it on our Facebook page. that's why I feel like what we have as a resource for job availability is so abundant, because we're working for both the job seeker as well as businesses, and have access to recent openings and everything that's going on in the work world in our community. So that's something that people don't realize, that we also do the business end of it, or let them use our site to interview people, or they need a place to, for the application process, or our facilities are available for that as well.
Can they come and use your facility for an interview?
Yes, absolutely. We have a conference room, and we welcome that anytime. We will do employment workshops if that's something they want to, have a topic that we can come help educate their staff. If there's some area of need that we can facilitate and do it in a group setting, we can be on site. We can do it at Mother Lode Job Training, but we want to be a resource for businesses as well. We have a employment HR hotline, and that number is also on our website that employers can use for HR topics, because some of our businesses, as you know, we're small mom and pop businesses. That's what makes us who we are here in our small counties, and you need that extra. You're not able to invest a lot of money into all aspects. We can fill that gap for employers and just have that as a resource.
Well, that's great, because there's so many different employment laws anymore that you could be violating one and not even realize it, because you just don't know it's there. Or you have a situation with an employee that you don't really know how you're supposed to handle. So, yeah, if you don't have a full-time HR director that has all that stuff under their belt and can just tell you.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So, it's been a wonderful opportunity for our businesses.
Yeah. So it used to be that, let's say we're saying using the same scenario. While I was raising my kids, I organized fundraisers for 4-H, I organized dances for the high school, or I did things that actually provided me with skills, or that I learned skills. Or do you still do that? Do you still try to kind of reach out into the rest of their life, see what volunteer work they did, what other kinds of activities people do or did that can be translated as job skills? Or
Absolutely, because that happens a lot, and you coined it well, that those are skills. To be able to put together a fundraiser is a skill. Even care providing, that is a skill. Whatever we translate it into, it's not work history, but it is your skill set. And so that can fill the empty spots where you feel like you don't have the employment areas, but you do have a whole host of skills. And it's just the conversation to pull that out and realize that, boy, they've done a lot in this last 10 years. It wasn't work, but it was real life skills and practical aspects that you can show an employer who you are and what you're able to do.
Sure. And you also develop relationships in all of those organizations that you may have volunteered for. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that can be really important to an employer, too. Not so much what you know as the connections you have in the community, that you can bring those connections with you and help your employer that way, which I'm not putting that really very well, but
I understand what you're trying to say. I feel like having lived here all my life is an advantage for an employer, because you know the history, you know the people, you have that to fall back on. Things are familiar in that way, and you know where to go for a resource, you know who to go to, things of that nature that in our small township or county, it is an asset.
Absolutely. You also know those weird little things that are just the personality of a place that, boy, you don't want to say that here. It might fly in Chicago, but it doesn't fly here. So it's always good to have that little bit of, local knowledge that kind of keeps you from stepping in it sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes people do come here with a different mindset and wonder why it's not how it was where they used to live or something. And it's just kind of helping them understand what they may expect from a job in our area.
That is true.
Yeah.
Now, with the skill building and the skills training, is there any financial support for that? As far as I know, the training itself is free, but is there any support for somebody financially while they're going through the training process, unless they're on a training job, on the job training program? Are there supports for people that are strictly coming for a computer class, or is that just not available?
I feel like when they're enrolled in a program with us, we have support services. So, for instance, if they're in the work experience program and they're not able to purchase the clothes they need to start that job. Okay. Or it's just the gas back and forth. We call them support services. It's just a practical way to ease the burden while they're trying to get their training and skills. And so those are common ones that we use a lot of times. We have to help them. Say they wanted to start a job at Mark Twain Hospital or Common Spirit now. I'm not sure I'm up with the right name, but in the medical world, you need scrubs, you need maybe equipment, things, certain shoes, and that's costly, especially if you've been without a job. I love that we can have support services that we can meet that need and give them all that they could possibly have to be successful.
Oh, that is really good to know, because that could make the difference between getting to a job and not having enough gas in your car to be able to actually get there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you found, I'm just curious, do the older people come in dressed differently? Do they have a different idea of what they should look like when they go apply for a job, or even when they show up at your office looking for help and maybe just wanting to use the computers?
Yeah, without being offensive, I feel like yes, maybe so. In some regards, we just come from a different era, and so I feel like my mother's words of wisdom would always be, you dress your best for that, or
right.
But it's simple things today, like put your cell phone away. If you're in the middle of a training or especially a job interview, like don't go for the phone. Like that's something that we have to really reinforce with participants. And I know that, our era that wasn't a common thing for us to come to an interview dressed in our blue jeans or something with our phone. It is very different. And it's just some things that I hope that we can present in the right way as soft skills, just ways to continue to be marketable. There's a work ethic, and I don't feel like we should give that up because it's purposeful. It helps a person stay focused. It helps a business stay on task if you're there wholeheartedly. So, there is definitely a different presentation.
Right.
A lot of times.
Well, I did have somebody show up in there, and it was an older person. like 40, 50 in their slippers one time. But I did kind of shake my head at that. I think I'd at least put shoes on. But,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, it is kind of surprising. I will agree there. Because we kind of relaxed during COVID, and it's about our what was comfortable at home, or a loungewear was the thing. So it is. I feel like we spend a decent amount of time just helping people know what work ready is, and just for their own advantage in feeling presentable. And I think there's something inward when you're put together and you gain a level of confidence. You can stand a little taller if you know all that's intact.
Yeah.
Like you can just tackle that in a better way. But it's a taught thing sometimes.
sure. And I think it can make the difference between two fairly identical candidates. They both have good job skills. They both have good work history, but one comes looking like they're ready for work, and the other one comes like they're ready to sit down on the couch and watch TV. So, it could make the difference between getting the job and not getting the job if you're really closely matched with somebody else.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, what is the age of the oldest person that's ever walked in there that you've had to?
I'm thinking we've been working with someone that's like 75 years old.
Oh, nice.
And, like I say, I feel like because we're living longer, because money doesn't stretch as far, because, there's all those things. Like our senior population is like growing. And in Calaveras County, that's
30% of us.
Yep.
Yep.
It's a big population. So it's becoming more typical. I feel like we see that as often as we do, the person right out of high school, or the middle-aged people, or whatever age. I definitely have, from 16 to 75, they come through the door. And so again, that we just have to kind of meet them where they're at, and offer them the kind of assistance that will give them that edge to get the job. And he did. By the way, he did get that job. And so he's come on to say, well, maybe I'm ready to move on to something different, which is also awesome. Like, he's got that job that he was going after, and now he's like, maybe I could do a little more. So I hope that we can continue to help him on his journey, and anybody else, but it's not too late. I feel like people, I hope it always stays that they appreciate, like you say, age and wisdom, and that we showing up and being on time and those kind of things are important, and it's usually demonstrated with age, with maturity.
That is true. So, do you know your phone number offhand that people can call?
People can call us directly at 209-754-4242. Our website is mljt.org, so www.mljt.org. Our website is very intuitive. It has everything broken down by county, so you can go in as a job seeker. You can go in looking for a career in the Forest Service, or you can go wherever you're at. I hope we have something that meets your need, and a lot has gone into seeking all the grants that will encompass where we are in our world today, and how to meet people's needs.
That is amazing. I am really glad that you came today. Or is there anything that you want to tell us before we leave? Anything we haven't covered?
I think this has been an honor. I feel like for seniors, when I just knowing that we were going to put this together, it, like I say, did spark intrigue in me, and I just went online to look, and the amount of things, resources that I found were for seniors were far more than I ever expected. You know, of course, the agencies like ARP, they have a whole host of just step by step walking you through the interview process, the resume process, asking all the questions that you may be afraid to ask. Their site is amazing, and there are many sites. If a person could just go online and look at all that, or come to our office and we could help you do that, just search, jobs in the county for seniors, or there is so much available. And I feel like at Motherlode Job Training, we're always looking for where that need is and how to and fill the need. And so I feel like for me, that's something I'll take on as a task, just to keep us abreast of all that is available, and be able to help our senior population in any way that possible, just to be able to meet their day-to-day needs. And that's kind of what it's about when you're looking for a job. As you get older, it's, you just want to, things are more expensive. You need a higher income. So just knowing that we're always looking at where is that need. And I'm glad you brought that to my attention, just so we can keep the lines of communication going and the resources going.
Great. Well, thank you for joining me today. And thank you to our listeners. Please like and follow us wherever you listen to your podcasts. We appreciate your watching us, and we hope you join us again next time.